position here is going to be your outside wrist control. What I want to make sure I have the outside wrist control, I have my 4 fingers on the outside of his wrist, my thumb on the inside, and when I have that grip, I want to make sure I'm putting these 2 fingers together and squeezing these tight. I don't need to have a death grip with all 5 fingers, but primarily these 3 fingers, and I want to squeeze nice and tight on his wrist here with my hand as close to his hand as possible. I don't want my hand up here to where he can circle his wrist out and try to escape. So I want to have my hand right on top, almost right on top of his hand, covering the wrist just like this. Now when I have this position, I want to make sure that I push it inside a little bit. I don't want it on the outside of my leg here, because if I have it on the outside of my leg, it still gives him that option to shoot on me and take me down. So if I just push it inside a little bit and I step outside a little bit, that limits his options on where he can shoot. Now I have one more leg, and I want to make sure I get that leg back. So that limits his options, it further limits his options on what he can shoot. So if I'm here like this, he doesn't really have many options to shoot on me offensively. Now, if I square up a little bit with him here, he does have an option to this leg, but I'm not going to sit in that position too long. I'm going to take the wrist control here and use this to arm drag. This is just one option you can use. Have it in the center. I'm just going to push it across a little bit, come underneath his armpit, drag him through and step in between his legs. Boom. That's one option that you can use from this position. Another option you can use from this position is having head control, because a lot of the control positions you need to have 2 points of control. So I'm going to start with my control position here on the wrist, outside control, and I can just put my hand on his head with head control here. Now when I have this position here, I'm just kind of tugging down on him. I'm going to start to move his hand a little bit inside, and then as he pulls it back out, I can come through this way, finish here, take him down, do whatever I want to do from there. Also, another option you have from here with this outside wrist control is if I'm here like this and he can't have access to this leg, he might want to shoot with that back leg, and as he does, I can go to a Kimura from here. I go to my back and finish with the Kimura from there. So there's your basic outside wrist control. This position is going to be your inside wrist control. Now with this one, I'm in my position here, and I want to make sure that I have my hand, my 4 fingers on the inside and my thumb on the outside. Now with the grip, I want to make sure that these 3 fingers are tight together here, and I'm also covering the base of his hand, because if I'm here, he's going to circle his wrist out, and it makes it a little bit easier for him to get out. Now I'm going to cover the base of his hand here, get a nice grip here, and where my footing is not so important, because I have inside control already. So this is very good for defense, and I don't really even need to do much with this other hand, because I have this position here. So if I'm in my position, I have a good grip here, and he tries to shoot on me, I have inside position already. So that's why I don't really need another control point too much. So I have the inside control here. Also, what this does, not only for defense, but it also gives me the inside position when I want to shoot. It's going to be hard for him to block because I'm already inside. So if I have this inside position here, all I have to do is just give some kind of a fake or some kind of a setup and move his hand out of the way, pull, push, move his hand out of the way, and I can take a shot here. So having this position here works good offensively and defensively. This is your basic inside control position. Now what I have is inside bicep control. When I have inside bicep control, I want to make sure my arm is bent. You almost want to make your arm as if you're like a praying mantis, like this. So I have the inside bicep control. This hand is right over top of his shoulder here, clutching down. This is bent. And here, I can use it as kind of a lever. It's almost like a steering wheel. If you can see it, I can kind of move his arm around, or if he moves his arm, I can move with it. So this is a very good position for controlling an arm, especially like if he comes out and puts his hand on me here, I just come this way, come inside. I want to battle for inside position. I just inside bicep control. Now, I can have this as a solo control position, but it works better when I have another control position. Another good control position to have off this one is an outside head control here. I can have inside head here. but I'm going to work from the outside, give you an option from the outside. I have the outside head control here, and I have the inside. A good technique to work from here is just doing a duck under. I just pull him down, and as he pulls up, raise it up, and come behind him. You know, you can finish with a lock here, take him down, do whatever you want with him. Now this is going to be your basic inside bicep control. This position here is going to be my outside bicep control. Now this is going to start when he has a head control on me, also called a collar tie sometimes. But he's got head control on me, so right now he has the advantage. So I need to get rid of this. I need to get it out of the way. So he's got the head control on me. So I'm going to take my hand, my 5 fingers together. I'm going to put it on the inside of his bicep here, right where his elbow bends, this way. And I'm going to lock my elbow down, pressing down here, just like this. So I'm in my position, he's got this here. The first thing I want to do is I want to off balance him because he has the advantageous position on me. I don't like that. I don't like to see it. I don't like to feel it. So from here, I'm going to grip my hands. I'm going to take this hand, the one that's over the top, put it on top of my other hand here, and I'm just going to break him down as I step back a little bit, just to off balance him and get rid of his control point and use my control point to my advantage. So I'm here, I'm going to break him down. And that's gonna off balance him so that I can work some other things. So I'm gonna start from here, bicep control, and come break him down. Also, what I can do from this position here too is he has the collar tie here. I have this position here, and let's say I've been trying to work it here, trying to get him in. And he's flaring his arm out. I want to take my other hand at this point, is I can still be here, and it's interchangeable what you do with the other hand. I can be here, or I can come on the collar tie as well. So I'm here. This is a very common position, where one guy has a collar tie and outside bicep control, and the other guy has the same thing. It's a very even, very common position. So I'm here, breaking him down. As he starts to pull his arm out, I'm just going to help him, assist him pull his arm up, lift it up, and duck under. Now I have a good angle on him, good position, and I can go to work from there. That's going to be your basic outside bicep control. This position is going to be your underhook. With the underhook, I want to get underneath his arm, underneath his armpit. So I'm going to come underneath his armpit, and I'm going to hook on top of his shoulder. Here. Now, I don't hook on top of his shoulder lazily. I'm going to hook on it like, I'm going to lock it down. I want all this to be tight. There goes that praying mantis position again with the arms. So I'm coming here, I'm going to lock this down tight here. Now, this is just one side. Well, with this position here, depending on our angle, it's going to depend on what I'm going to do with this other hand. I can do a lot of things with this other hand, and I really want to have a control with this other hand too. I can come this way with the inside head control here, or this way, outside head control here, or I can have wrist control here. But it's important that I have some type of control with this other hand. Now, some options that I can work with when I have this underhook position here. If let's say I have wrist control here, I can circle them around this way and then throw them up and do a body lock, or I can circle them around and go towards one leg. A lot of different things I can do from here, but the important thing is that I have this established. Tight on the shoulder, elbows in, locking it down nice and tight, and some other control point with this other hand. Either here, here, or here. There's your underhook. This position is going to be your overhook. Now this is what's going to happen when he has an underhook on me. I'm going to have to go to an overhook. That's over his arm here. Nice and tight. Now when I have an overhook here, there's a lot of different things I can do with my hands. One of the things I like to do with my hands is I like to put it on his hip, even though he has the overhook, but I don't like his hips to get too close to mine. So when I have an overhook here, I can put this out on his hip to keep his hips from getting close to mine. Also, I can just chop down here. Now this hand here, I want to keep it on his head. I don't want his head to get too close to me. If he's able to get his head close or his hips close, then I'm done. I'm going to get taken down. I'm going to get taken down, submitted, or whatever. So I want to have the overhook here. I can either place it on his hip, or I can just chop down this way and have control here. Now, an option that you can do from here to break his underhook is just to block down as hard as I can. I'm gonna block down here and start to get his elbow to come on the inside. Now when this happens, this is uncomfortable for him. He doesn't like this. He's gonna flare his arm back out. So when I'm chopping in on his arm, he flares back out. I'm gonna use that momentum and go to a high crotch. I'll just swing my arm up and back, drop my knee in, go right to a high crotch. So from this position, the overhook, lock it down, either hand on the hip to keep his hip from coming too close to you, or block the head to keep from coming too close to you. And again, you always have that option to go to a high crotch just by bringing this in as he flares it back out. Come here. When you go to a high crotch, guys, always put your hand in your back pocket so he doesn't hold on to that underhook. And that's going to be your basic overhook position. This position I'm working now is having inside head control. And that again is taking my hand, putting it on the back of his neck, just like this. Now, you definitely don't want to have this with no other point of control. You can have this with an underhook. It works best with an underhook as well. So I'm going to start from the head control here. Now this hand here is going to follow right along the side of his neck here. So I'm here and just like this, if you can see, and I'm controlling his face with my elbow to keep him from looking back into me. From an MMA standpoint, guys, this is a very excellent position because from here I can knee to the head, I can knee to the body. There's a lot of, I can elbow here, but here's the control point, is just holding this way. And it works good in conjunction with an underhook here. Just like this. Here's a good control position. Also, what you can do from this inside head control is you can use it to snap them down to go to your guillotines. So I'm starting here, and you know, if from MMA guys, you can knee, or if you, even in MMA, or just from a grappling standpoint, I can snap him down and go right to a guillotine. But the important thing is that you have good control of his head initially, right here, keeping it away this way and using your forearm to control his face. So here, and also having another control point, but just like this. That's going to be your inside head control. This next position is going to be your outside head control. Now here it's also called a collar tie. I like to refer to it as a collar tie. When I have this position, I want to control the top of his head primarily here. If I'm just on his neck here like this, he can lift his head up and it's going to be hard for me to control it. All he has to do is lift his head up and stick his chest out and I can't control it. But by coming on the top, on the back of his head, like if you can see the back of his head right here, this is where I want to put my hand, right on the meat of his head. I want to control that part right there. So I'm going to be here and elbow in his chest here, this way. Now I'm going to control his head, keep him from looking up, and I control his body. He can't shoot on me because my forearm is in his chest, right on his collarbone. That's why it's called a collar tie. So I'm here this way. Now the other hand is a lot of different things I can do. The other hand, I can control his wrist, I can have an underhook, I can have bicep control, but the important thing is that I'm on the back of his head with the elbow right in dead center of his chest and this along his collarbone. Now from here I can use this to set up my guillotines, or I can just use it to snap them down. If I'm here I can just snap them down by dragging them down here. I can snap them down into a guillotine, or come here and guillotine, or a front headlock, or even use it to set up my anaconda chokes. I can start here, I can snap them down and come right to an anaconda here. A lot of different things you can do from there, but the important thing is to control the head. And there's going to be your collar tie, outside head control. Now we're going to talk about elbow control. This position starts off best when a guy pulls off one. It's very common when you start off in any type of grappling, or whether you're training or competition, a guy's going to step up and he's going to post off on you to try to establish his distance. So for me, what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is I want to just come underneath his elbow, right here, just like this. I'm going to come underneath his elbow and control his elbow here. Just this. I don't have to do much anything else. I don't really need to reach back with my other hand from here. I'm just going to just control here. That's it. Just control here. Control his arm. Now I can feel which way he's going to go, what he wants to do. a lot of times he's not going to do nothing. And if he doesn't do anything, that's when I want to make my move. So I'm starting off, he pulls off here, come underneath, and I'm just going to hold it, then I'm going to pop it up. And then I can take a shot. So if I'm here, he pulls off, I just grab it here. Now if he wants to move it anywhere, I'm in control of it. If he doesn't do anything, I just pop it up, pop it right off my arm. Boom. And I can shoot. And there's my elbow control. Alright, now we're going to talk about having a body lock. Now when I have a body lock, I want to make sure my hands are off to the side of his body, here, this way. And I want the hand that's around his back, I want that palm facing down because I get a lot of pressure with this part here, right on his kidney. So I want to put it right in this part of his back. Almost it serves like a bar along his back. So when I'm here, I want to have it here, put this right in his kidney and be this position here. Now I'm going to just pinch my elbows in here. Now by doing this, I also want to have head pressure here. This keeps him off balance. So when I'm pushing in here, pulling this in, and I have my head pressure here, elbows are in, he can't swim in for an underhook or anything. I'm in just like this, nice and tight. I want my legs right around his. I can even squeeze his legs here for control. And here's my position. I want to have this nice and tight right here, just like this. I'm relaxing, I'm resting. All I'm doing is just in a position and just adding pressure. Just here and just like this. And from here, I got a lot of different options. I can come around to his back. You see, I can just swing around to his back. Or from here, I can change to a single leg. A lot of different things I can do from here, but initially when you get the position, you want this to be right along the side of his back, right here, low on his back, palm facing down so you can put this bone right in his kidney. Here, pinch your elbows in, and head pressure. Here. Keep them off balance. It's going to be your basic body control body lock.